What is up, everybody? How you doing?
Hey, Andrew, what is poppin', man? Appreciate you doing another one of these. It's always a blast. Sunday mornings. It's a ritual at this point.
It is, and what do they call it? They call it the Breakfast Club every Sunday morning.
That's what they're calling
So
it. But I feel like it's the lunch club because they all start talking about pizza and chips and it makes me hungry. And I'm already hungry to begin with because I haven't eaten breakfast. So I'm over here like it's not even a fast. I guess technically breaking fast is what it is, but I'm hungry over here. That's for sure. So excited to answer some fantasy football questions though.
fair enough, man. I appreciate you hopping on. I see we got a couple stuff in the chat already. Caleb, you put it in there that we are doing a Michael Vick signed jersey giveaway in my Discord. So if you guys want to join our Discord, go ahead and join that Discord. It's free. It's linked in the description of the video that I am on. So just type in the League FFB on YouTube. You'll find that Discord link. It looks like Caleb even linked it in here too. So go ahead and do that. It is going to be given away tonight before the start of the Sunday night football game. So not too much time left to enter that one. But Caleb, we got some questions already. Do you want to just hop right into these?
Let's jump in.
Alrighty. It does look like the first one is going to be Tobias. He says Gibbs or Olave.
Tobias, I will be going with Jahmyr Gibbs. Where are you at, Andrew?
I'm with Gibbs as well. Olave, he's supposed to play, but I still think there's a little bit of risk there. And Gibbs has been Gibbs the last couple weeks. He's been really good, so I think you just play Gibbs.
A ton of people in my rest of season rankings, I had Jahmyr Gibbs. I think I had him as RB3 rest of season, Andrew. And people were telling me that I was way too high on Gibbs. And I thought to myself, from everyone the last 2 weeks that said I was too low on Gibbs, I all of a sudden overcorrect. I get to where I think I'm fair. And then people are still bashing me in the comments. So, Andrew, where do you have Jahmyr Gibbs rest of season, do you think? Is it in top 5 for you as well?
Rest of season, that's a good question because I haven't really done rest of season rankings, but off the top of my head, I would tell you that I would view him at worst a mid-range running back one the rest of the way. So that's at worst. So I think the lowest I could possibly put him in my rankings would be like 8.
Yeah.
That would be the lowest I could put him.
Yeah. Because, I mean, it really came down to like, okay, Bijan, CMC, they're off the board. ETN's off the board. Then I guess so technically you would have been my RB4. Jahmyr Gibbs is right after that.
Yeah.
Boom.
Eckler's rest of season schedule is really
It
good.
is good.
Well.
It is good. I had Jahmyr Gibbs one spot. I honestly had to look dead in my face and say, do I take Austin Eckler or Jahmyr Gibbs? And I went with Gibbs. That could bite me, but at the same time, if you have these guys, you're starting them every week. So it doesn't really matter.
Absolutely. AKA, he says, yo, do you think that having Alvin Kamara and Amon-Ra is a problem, especially when they play each other? And I also have Laporta.
AKA, I know you asked this on Friday, and I told you it was not an issue, but I want to hear Andrew's thoughts on this one.
Not an issue to me as well. I think, having Alvin Kamara and Amon-Ra is great. I mean, these are two of the top options you can have at each of their respective positions. I know they play each other. Obviously, there's a chance that a game script gets really out of hand and both of these guys kind of have a bad day. You live with that. That's not something that I'm too worried about. When you have two guys this good, and you have Sam Laporta too, who is also one of the best at his position for fantasy football. Yeah, man, I'm not too worried about having some of the best players at their positions.
Yep, you play your studs.
All right, Anthony says, sup, fellas. Would you consider Jaden Reed over Garrett Wilson in full PPR?
I mean, I think it's a discussion to be had, but I'm still going with Garrett Wilson here, Anthony.
Yeah, I would not play Jaden Reed over Garrett Wilson, but I could definitely understand people feeling that way, especially with the hot streak that Jaden Reed is on. I have Jaden Reed starting in the league this week, not necessarily by choice. I got a lot of buys. I have the Vikings, Bills, and Bears players all on buy this week. So Jaden Reed's in the starting lineup, but I think it's a fine matchup for both of these guys, but I would be going to Garrett Wilson. AKA says, I am also following your thoughts and praying Downs has a good game.
So, AKA, I forget what your start sit question was on the stream last night, but it was Josh Downs and somebody else that I had lower. So I would love, AKA, ask the start sit question again, just so we can get Andrew's thoughts. But I'm pretty sure Andrew would probably go with Downs too. Where do you have Downs this week? Do you have him as a top? I have him as a top 25 wide receiver this week.
PPR?
Yeah.
I have Downs as my wide receiver 26.
Okay.
So just above Brandon Cooks, Garrett Wilson, Tyler Lockett. That's kind of the range of receivers that I have him in.
Okay.
Let's see. The next one was Nathan. He says, hey guys, Rashee Rice or Jaden Reed? Also Murray or Russell Wilson? I'm playing the Steelers defense, so Murray is not looking great. What's your thoughts here, Caleb?
If I had to choose, I'm going Rashee Rice over Jaden Reed. And then if I had to go Murray or Wilson, this is nasty because I actually have Kyler Murray a little bit lower than Russell Wilson in my rankings this week. Every part of me wants to say go Kyler Murray, but he is going up against Pittsburgh. Broncos are playing against Houston, so I would be going with Russell Wilson, and then Rashee Rice would be my two.
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally on board with you. I would go Rashee Rice. I would go Russell Wilson. Those are the two guys that I would be playing in my rankings, and both great matchups for both of these teams. Rice's matchup isn't as great as Murray's. Murray's matchup is really, Wilson's matchup is really good. But Rice, we had the little news blurbs this week too, where Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes were all talking about how he's kind of developed and he's matured and he's getting better. And I love it. I love to hear that when they start talking about a rookie like that, because it means that they want to get him a little bit more involved. They also started talking about JSN like that after Thursday night.
I love to hear it because all my JSN Dynasty shares, my redraft shares, they've been in shambles for the beginning of the season. So it's good to see that these rookies that we knew were going to be super talented are finally starting to produce. Gibbs, Bijan, and hopefully JSN.
Yep, and it shows you and gives you that reassurance again that it's like, be patient with some of these options, man. Be patient when you draft these rookies, especially in dynasty leagues, even when you draft them in redraft leagues. Like, be patient. They're not always going to pop off week one. They're not all Jamar Chase. They're not all of them going to be Justin Jefferson. You're going to get guys that, 6, 7, 8, sometimes 13 weeks down through the season. Then they start coming on, and what you really want them to be is those high upside bench players for your teams. And then obviously in Dynasty, we want them to become starters. But yeah, just be patient, man. That's the thing that I learned with some of this stuff and am reminded about. Anthony says, oh, actually, it looks like I skipped one. Victor says, choose 2 running backs, Mostert, Hall, and White.
Yeah, so I think if I had to choose out of all these guys, White is the for sure. He'd be my number one. That's a great matchup versus Carolina, PPR machine. And then between Hall and Mostert, I still personally I'm going to go with Raheem Mostert. I think the Devon, everyone's worried about it. I mean, I still think they're going to bring him back slow, 8 to 10 carries. I'm not confident in starting him after what happened this, 2 weeks ago. So for me, still rock with Mostert. I mean, sure, he's probably going to have a few touches taken away. It's not the bell cow status, but still Hall, it's more of a volume play than anything else at this point for him this season. So,
yeah, I mean, I'd be going White. White is a top 4 running back in my rankings this week. I think he's going to go nuts. And then Mostert would be my play too. I just don't like the matchup for Hall, and he has a little bit of the banged up injury. So, yeah. Anthony says, would y'all consider Nico Collins over Brandon Ayuk? I also have CJ Stroud stack. The Walter Picks app has Nico projected higher.
Anthony, I'll be honest. The Walter Picks app to me, and I haven't used it a ton, is kind of a joke. And so, Anthony, I'm just telling you this honestly. There's probably some free tools out there if you're paying for the Walter Picks app, but I do like that it does customize to your team, so I get it. But I appreciate you tuning in. I'm still going Brandon Ayuk over Nico Collins 100%. 100 out of 100 times would be what I would be doing this week.
Yeah, man, the matchup for Brandon Ayuk is crazy. Philly is 32nd against fantasy football wide receivers. That is the worst in the NFL. Currently giving up 38.5 fantasy points per game to the position. Obviously, there's more mouths to feed. You have the Deebo Samuels, the George Kittles, and Christian McCaffreys. Brandon Ayuk is the type of player, especially against a defense like this that is so weak in the secondary like Philly is, where he could catch 3 footballs and go for 120 yards and a touchdown. That's just the player that Brandon Ayuk is. He is a guy that I would be starting. I'm not going to be starting Nico Collins over Brandon Ayuk. The matchup isn't as good as for Nico Collins. He could be seeing a lot of PS2. I think for what it's worth, they're both options that I would consider top 15 plays. But yes, Brandon Ayuk for me is like a top 8 play in my rankings this week. So
correct. I'm with you.
AKA says it was Reed or Downs. Start one. I'm starting Downs. Yep. That's the one you asked me about.
Yep.
Brandon says, good morning, y'all. Good morning, Brandon. Thank you for being here. Jordan says, do I start Mostert or Puka in my flex? Don't worry, Caleb. It's not a league I'm in with you.
Shout out to Jordan, OG college friend who also, it's annoying, dude. He trades. We both grew up like in this fantasy content world. So he's absolutely grinding, has amazing teams. But if I had to choose between Mostert and Puka this week, I am actually going to lean Puka over Mostert, but it's close.
Yeah, it's close for me too, but I do lean Puka as well. Wanted to make Puka Actually, I did make Puka a start of the week for me this week. So I think he's going to be one of the top plays at the position, probably top 12, top 15 play.
Yeah. And while we'll get to the next question, Anthony, for you here in a second. But if you guys are just tuning in, up above, there's a link to Andrew's Discord. He's actually giving away a signed Michael Vick jersey. Of course, I wanted to register, put my name in, but whatever. We're buds. I don't want to steal it from his audience. So highly recommend go join the free Discord. Go get into that raffle. He's drawing it tonight, but right before the Sunday night game.
Yeah, it'll be given away 8:15 Eastern tonight. That is about 5 minutes before the game. This is the jersey we're giving away here. I'll pull it off.
Freaking fire. You know what? We don't care that Michael Vick, this was in his dog era, but like a dog he was an absolute dog on the fantasy football field. So go get that. I would absolutely love to have that hanging behind me. But for all of you, it's open for you for free. So go join that Discord.
There you go. Appreciate it, Caleb. Let's see what else. Oh, I see we got Sean in here. He says I need that Vic. Element says I want a Mike Vick jersey. So we got a couple people that want one. So go join that Discord. Links in the description of my video, or like Caleb said, links in the description in the chat that he mentioned. So and I'll say this, stick around too. Even after the jersey's gone, stick around. We talk fantasy football. I'll be there to help you guys with lineups too.
And if not, there's got great deals happening all the time. So highly recommend. Plus, Andrew's better than me. We all know that. You guys all know that. You guys all on my channel, you enjoy hearing Andrew. That's why you come and join this Sunday morning streams, to hear his opinions, not only mine. So I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, Caleb. Anthony, he says, I want to hear Andrew's opinion on what I asked yesterday. Sit one, Eckler, Moss, Kyron, and ETN. So that's a good question. Let's go here. I would say right away, I am going to be saying, actually, let's just go through my rankings. I'll tell you where each of them are ranked. So ETN right now, he's the highest. He's my running back 5 on the week. Eckler is running back 6 on the week. Moss is running back 7 on the week. And Kyron Williams is running back 8 on the week. So I have them back to back to back to back. Unfortunately, that means Kyron Williams is the lowest of all of these guys. So I guess for me, I would be sitting Kyron Williams in my personal rankings.
Andrew, how can you sit Kyron after the game he just had last week?
I don't know. I mean, technically, I guess I can tell you is because Cleveland Browns defense. That's how I'm sitting him. And Myles Garrett is playing in this one. I don't know if you saw that news, but Myles Garrett is playing today. So that does just a tiny little downtick. And obviously, all of these guys are running back 1s. So if you have all 4 of those guys, that's
where I was saying he's really not losing out on this. But question for you: so how far away is Kyron and Zach Moss for you in your rankings? I guess I heard it. One spot.
Moss is running back 7. Kyron's running back 8. I have Moss projected 0.2 points more than Kyron.
Anthony, I feel like you can't go wrong at this point with these running backs. But yeah, definitely ETN and Eckler, have to be in there. And then I would take Kyron. But flip a coin. You let fate decide, or you go with your gut because it's so close. I won't harm you each and every way.
Both of the matchups are pretty similar. I mean, Tennessee's ranked 15th. Cleveland's ranked 13th. So Cleveland's just a tiny bit tougher of a matchup, but not by much. I mean, they're only giving up about 1 fantasy point per game less than Tennessee is. So it's really up to you. But all of these guys, I would say if you play any of them, they're all projected to be running back 1s in my rankings this week.
Yep.
Dylan says start 3 full PPR: Downs, Hollywood, Ayuk, Reed, Ford, Connor, Singletary.
Start 3.
Full PPR.
Ayuk for sure.
Start.
Yep.
I think Downs and Hollywood for me.
Hollywood, yeah. We'll sit Reed. And then one running back?
1 running back and 1 flex for the second part, which is Ford, Singletary, and Reed.
And Connor. I'm actually going Singletary. That'd be my top play. And then if I had to flex one, I would go. I don't know if I have James Conner, Jerome Ford higher. So that would just determine who between them.
I have them very close. I have Ford just a tiny bit higher than Connor.
Yeah, I would go with Ford too. Ford and Singletary there. Dylan, appreciate you.
Yep. Element says, I don't have any questions, but I'll just be here to be here. Cowboys don't even play either. Yeah, man. Look, it's usually Vikings Sunday over here too, but we don't got a Vikings game today either. So I usually wear my Vikings jersey on Sundays. I felt naked today because I wasn't wearing a Vikings jersey.
Hey, it's fine. It's fine. You got the Viking jerseys behind you, so it makes up for it.
Yeah, it's fine. I got to get this one swapped out. I've been needing to get this one swapped out for like months. I have one just sitting on the floor. It's in a bag. It's an Adrian Peterson jersey.
Ooh. Is it
And I've
signed or not
needed,
signed? Or
yeah, it's
just
signed.
oh Lord
Actually,
have mercy.
let me show you this. Let me show you this.
You know what though? Did he sign that before or after he beat? Never mind. It's okay. We won't go into it.
Relax.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
But it has like all his career accomplishments on it. So it says like MVP, all his rushing yards, all his rushing touchdowns. So it's like a career highlight jersey, and then he signed it. So I'm gonna swap out the Dalvin Cook one and put AP there.
Yeah, you just need like a bigger YouTube like background so you can have
I know, just get
a
super zoomed out.
Or like a super wall, like you just have like 10 to 20 jerseys behind you. Anyway, we'll get back to questions over here.
All right. I think this is the next one, right? Full PPR, Chase, Puka, Nico.
We will go here. Honestly, I have Chase the highest, and maybe you need to talk me off a ledge because I feel like Jamar Chase has the most upside, the most talent, but we know his situation's the worst out of Puka, Nico Collins. So I feel like you got to go Chase, but I don't love it. I really don't, because I have the same decision. I have a Chase and Puka decision. I'm going with Chase, Brendan, honestly, but I don't love it. So love to hear
I'm going Nico and Chase in this one. I think for me, in my personal ranks, Nico's top. He's wide receiver 13. Chase is 16. Puka is 18. I've actually since moved him down with the Cooper Cup injury. Since that video that I made on what was it, Friday, something like that. So I've moved him down since Cooper Cup's gotten a little bit healthier. But for me, I think Nico, Chase, that's probably where I'm going with. And Chase, he does have some upside. The problem is that offense is horrible. It's going to be horrible. But he's going to get fed the football probably.
But wait, you said Chase or Puka, or you said
Chase and Nico. Nico and Chase.
But does he need two, or I thought he only need one?
Oh, just one?
That's what I thought.
Just one, I'm going Nico.
Okay. Don't listen to him, Brendan. Don't listen to him. I'm just kidding.
There you go. He says, how do you feel about Brees this week in a full PPR league? How do you feel about him? I think he's running back 2, low end running back.
Going up against Atlanta, they can't throw the ball. It ain't hot, but it is what it is. I mean, he'll get the volume to be a decent fantasy football asset for you this week. Like I said, I'm not a huge big on him rest of the season. It's sad. He's a top 5 talent in the NFL, but his situation sucks so bad. It is what it is.
The best way to say it is he's a somewhat healthy running back that isn't on bye this week, so you can play him, and that's pretty much as good as it is for me with Brees Hall right now. Element says, I decided to join a league a few weeks ago for a late draft, and I got both Gibbs and Monty. It's worked out well somehow. I mean, I think their rushing attack is so good that both of these guys are going to have value the rest of the year. Monty gets the goal line work, and then Gibbs obviously is getting a ton of receiving work, and he also is getting those longer touchdowns and some of the receiving touchdowns too. So both of these guys are going to be good. Yeah,
good for you, Element. Glad that you got both. And honestly, I have so many leagues where I maybe just only have Monty or I only have Gibbs, but I don't even care. Like, I just, depending on the matchup, I just throw both of them out there because one's a touchdown freak and Jahmyr Gibbs is an absolute monster that is getting more touchdown upside each and every week. So like both of them, especially this week.
Brandon says Jalen Warren or Najee Harris. I'm expecting to win by 20. I'm a Steelers fan. I'm also going to play one of them. Honestly, considering flexing them both because of the matchup. Between the two, I'm going Warren.
Yep, same. Brendan, I know I told you Warren on last night, but yeah, we'll continue riding with Jalen Warren here.
Yeah, so we'll see. Sean says my brother need that. I think it was for the need the Vic. It's
go join that. Yep.
I heard a couple Discord dings in my headphones, so I know some people joined.
Yeah, go join. And you have to go to the giveaway and sign up. So make sure you don't just join the Discord. You actually go register yourself for that giveaway.
There's a couple things. You got to like go to the Discord and then you have to verify that you're like a real person. Like I have like a filter on there so we don't get any bots. And then you just go over to the giveaway tab and then you should be able to enter. But Element says, well, in that case, Puka or Tank between those two. So who are you going between those two?
Give me a Tank Dell.
Me too. I think did we answer this one?
No, because it's Brees gets added in here. So it's full PPR, Nico Collins, Puka, or Brees. So I will still be going with
Nico.
Yeah, I will be going with Nico here once you take out Jamar Chase.
Okay. Let's see. Who do you have? Eagles versus 49ers. I have Hurts and Swift, in my opinion, has Brock, CMC, Kittle. My opponent has
Brock CMC, Kittle. I don't know. I think hopefully this game's a high scoring game. I have a feeling that both defenses will kind of shut down both offenses just slightly. It should be a good game, so I'm excited to see. But if I had to pick which side between Brock, CMC, or Kittle, or Hurts and Swift, I'd probably want the 49er side here just because of CMC. But otherwise, I think you have probably a good shot.
Yeah, it's an interesting game. It'll be that. I mean, obviously, it'll be one of the most watched games this weekend. Sean says Kareem Hunt or Chris Godwin.
Give me some Chris Godwin.
Me too, even if he's banged up.
Yeah, even if he's
Olave or Warren.
I don't think I can trust Olave, so give me Warren.
It's closer for me. I think I lean Warren. But if Olave plays, this matchup is so good for him that I don't really want to bench him.
Listen, if Olave doesn't play or even play still, I think Kamara might score like 15 to 17 receptions. So in PPR, my man's about to absolutely eat. But yeah, I'd still go Warren just because of the injury risk and him potentially not playing. But if he does play, he's the only receiving option. I mean, it's him and A.T. Perry. So
yeah, I mean, even with an injury dip, like I have him as a top 24 play. So like I think that should speak to how good the matchup is. But Warren is definitely the safer play of the two.
Yeah.
Oh, and this actually changes it a lot. He says non-PPR.
Yeah, give me Jalen Warren.
Yeah, so that changes it a lot for me. Let's see, where are we at? Element says, I'm starting Brock in a second league because Josh Allen is out. Yeah, I'm starting Baker this week because Josh Allen is out.
Oof. Yep, rough out in the streets.
Superflex, it's Baker and Herbert this week for me. Usually it's Josh Allen and Herbert, which is nasty. But yeah, we're starting Baker this week. Texans having all receivers active. I'm going against Patrick Surtain. Do I bench Tank Dell and start Jamar Chase?
This is a close one, but I have Tank Dell 3 spots higher than Jamar Chase. So give me some Tank Dell, even though he's going up against Patrick Surtain.
I don't think he's going to see Surtain as much as Nico will. Yeah, I think Nico sees him the most. But I definitely would be going with Tank over Jamar. It sounds crazy at this point in the season that you would be saying that, but based on circumstances, Tank Dell's probably my play.
My heart breaks for all my Jamar Chase shares, but yeah, it's the reality we're living in.
Yeah. Element says I'm absolutely starting Kyron. I'm projected to win 96%. This guy forgot to change his lineup for like 7 weeks. Kick this dude out the league, man. If you haven't set a lineup in 7 weeks, get him the hell out the league.
What's happening, man? What's happening? Some of these commissions out here, man, they're not running their league properly. People are stealing money from babies, clearly.
Dude, I have a bylaw in all of my leagues where it's like if you haven't set your lineup for more than I think it's 2 weeks. If you for 2 weeks in a row you don't set your lineup, I will then kick you out the league and find an active member. Because and that's in season. So like if you don't check for 2 weeks in season, come on, bro. That's ridiculous. Tyler FF Creator says Devin Singletary or Najee half PPR.
Give me some Devin Singletary here.
I'm going Singletary as well. Nathan says he's going Kyron on that question that we were answered. Sean says Myles Garrett or Josh Allen IDP.
Well, considering Josh Allen is, or I guess Josh Allen, not the quarterback, the defensive end. I would still be going Myles Garrett this week. I don't play in a lot of IDP, but still give me Myles Garrett.
I've played in one IDP before. It was cool. It wasn't necessarily my jam. I think the scoring that they had it made it to where it felt like the best defensive players in the NFL weren't scoring like they were the best fantasy players, which kind of sucked. But I mean, I guess I'd go Myles Garrett, but don't trust my opinion at all on that because I do not play enough IDP.
Yeah, I don't play enough either, but I still think I'm going Myles Garrett just based on matchup. I mean, Josh Allen, it's a sacks for Josh Allen. So I don't know how much a sack is worth for you in this IDP league, but still Myles Garrett, I think should still have plenty of potential there as well.
Yeah. Tingley says, Ayo, I asked Caleb in the comments on a vid about this one, but full PPR flex Moss, Pacheco, or Achane. I'd be going Moss.
I would be going Moss. Tingley, I don't know if I said Pacheco, but I forget who I said, but I think I would go Moss this morning. So listen to us.
Dual Guitar says start Devontae Smith or Najee Harris. Philly's bad weather. Najee just sucks, but it is the Cardinals. So
Devontae Smith.
I'm going Devontae as well. Ultimate Rivalry Showdown on Monday. Let's go Eagles this week. Esco, appreciate you being here, bro. Fantasy football advice by Tyler. He says, Caleb, you're going to get canceled with that.
It's about the Mike Vick dogs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that really about the Mike Vicks?
Yeah, I think it was. I think I said something else, but yeah, it could potentially get
No,
canceled
I
for
think
that.
you said something about is it the Adrian Peterson?
Oh, the
The
Adrian Peterson. Yeah, yeah. Excuse me. Yep. I
Element
was.
says,
Okay.
is it from Pristine Auctions? Yeah, I do get my signed jerseys from Pristine Auction. They're very reliable. They all come with verification signatures and all that stuff like that. So it's very reliable. And if you're out there just scouting like through middle of the night type stuff, you can get some pretty good deals. So I get them on Pristine. But Peanut Butter Jelly Time says, with the little weather in Washington, possibly a blowout, you're gonna go with Tua or Stroud. 6
Going
point
with
touchdowns and point per completion.
yeah. Give me a CJ Stroud.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
yeah, I guess
yeah.
Washington is it. I mean, I just
I think for me, Tua.
this is my thought with is just Tua. They're gonna get up so like by halftime. I imagine they're up 3 touchdowns. So like, how much are they actually gonna pass in the second half? That's my true thing. Whereas CJ Stroud is gonna be a little bit closer of a game. So
Yeah, I'm definitely starting Sam Howell in a league this week because I think that they're gonna play like they're gonna pass the football a lot. But I think I still lean Tua. But I don't think you could go wrong either way. I mean, in my 6 point quarterback rankings, which I only play 6 point quarterback, it's CJ Stroud is a top 5 option. Tua is a top 2 option for me this week. So I'm going Tua.
okay.
Um, Anthony says, can y'all go a little bit more in depth on why ETN is so high this week? Because he's honestly the one I'm the most worried about. He's still questionable, has been in a bit of a slump, and has Dearness on him.
Yeah.
I'll let you start, Caleb.
Yeah, I mean, all fair assessments, but he's going up against Cincinnati Bengals. And Anthony, I don't know if you've watched any Cincinnati Bengals games since Joe Burrow got hurt. You probably haven't because there's no reason to. But your boy has because he's a Bengals fan. And let me just tell you, this offense is not what it used to be. And so the fact of the matter is, the Jags are going to get up early. And if they get up early, I imagine second half is a ton of rushing attempts. And so for me, it's a good matchup. Cincinnati's run defense hasn't been anything crazy. And so I like the matchup. I think the volume that Travis Etienne is going to get. Yes. Now, if he does get nicked up again and he's out second half, I could definitely see that being something to maybe potentially worry about. But I still think the risk is worth the reward. So I have him as a top 3 running back this week. So no reason not to start Etienne.
Yeah. I think for me, man, it's just kind of echoing a little bit of what Caleb says. The matchup is fine. Bengals are 19th against running backs, giving up about 19.7 fantasy points allowed per game. I think it's going to be a blowout game. I don't really think that the Bengals are going to be competitive, thus meaning that they're going to lean on ETN. And just like you said, Dearness as well, probably in the second half. But I think there's a really high chance that ETN finds himself in the end zone in the second half of this game. And I am not too worried about the injury. I know he's still questionable, but I'm not too worried about the injury. If it was something that was to be very worried about, I think we would have heard a lot more news about it by now. Especially it being, the time of day it is right now. We would be getting some of those injury reports already.
Yep.
I do see we got a super chat from Raul. It says, no question, just a tip, because I appreciate what you, Andrew, and Caleb. So appreciate you, Raul. Always supporter of the channel in the Discord, all that stuff. So appreciate you being here.
Yeah,
And
shout out,
always super appreciative of your support. It really does help our channel. So thank you.
He's trying to get an extra like, thing into the jersey,
Oh,
thing.
an extra
An extra entry.
Yeah.
That's what that tip was. That's what it was.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's see. We got where was I at? We got this one, Brandon. He says full PPR, Brees or Nico.
Give me Nico.
I go Nico. Griffin says Tank, Swift, Chase, Achan. Start one or sit one.
Sit one. I will be sitting Devon.
I would start. I would sit Achan as well. Ellen says, I'm rooting for the 49ers today. Really hope they can beat the stupid Shields. Griffin says it was full PPR. Does that change your opinion? I'm still sitting.
It doesn't. No, I'm still sitting. Yeah.
Okay. Pacheco or Thielen, Taysom Hill or McBride, and then Howell or T-Law.
I will be going with Pacheco, McBride, and T-Law.
I'm going with Pacheco, McBride, and Howell. I actually have that Howell and T-Law decision in a league this week, and I went Howell over T-Law. So I can't sit here on stream and tell you differently than what I'm doing in my leagues. So I'm going Howell over T-Law this week.
It's close.
But they're back to back in my rankings.
They're super close. They're 2 spots apart. So I understand. Whichever way
but
you
part
go.
Of, part of that comes down to what we talked about already, Caleb. Like, I think that Jaguars offense can really take their foot off the gas in the second half as far as passing goes. And I think Howell's going to be playing from behind pretty much the whole day. He's going to have to throw that football. So that's kind of the reason. That was the difference maker between the two for me. Element says he got like 3 people on buys and has 2 and 3 people on IR.
Yikes.
I'm feeling good about Tyreek today, considering how well CD ran through that defense. Yeah, should be pretty good. Tyler says it was about the Adrian Peterson. So there you go. Deontay or Josh Downs?
Josh Downs.
I don't think I can do that. I'm gonna reference my rankings, but I'm like almost certain I have Deontay higher. Yep, I have Deontay higher. I'm going Deontay Johnson this week. Just a little bit higher though.
You're gonna have to flip the coin here.
Yeah. The better matchup is Josh Downs though. But Maverick says start 1 PPR Hollywood Swift Najee Rice. I'm starting Swift.
I'm starting Swift too.
Even though it's a tougher matchup, I'm still starting Swift.
Yeah.
If you don't like that answer, my second option would be Hollywood. Tyler says, if you give me the jerseys, I'll make sure that it improves my background on my YouTube videos. All right. Jose says, crazy week, 12-team PPR, start 3, Kamara, Kyron, ETN, Zach Moss. Truly have no idea this week. So, start 3.
ETN, for sure.
Kamara, for sure. You
Okay.
have to make the decision between Moss and Kyron again, which we've fallen on different sides of this. It's you go Kyron, I go Moss.
Yeah. So listen, it's not a bad decision for you, Jose. Really, you flip a coin and you determine who you want. I want Kyron. Andrew wants Zach Moss. It's so close though that I feel like you're probably gonna be happy either way.
Yeah, I agree. But I think if you're starting 3, you definitely need to throw in ETN and Kamara.
Yep.
Element says I dropped Purdy for Howell. I'm not sure if that was a good choice. I think for fantasy, it's a fine choice. Howell's been outperforming him in fantasy football. Now, obviously, Purdy you probably prefer as your NFL quarterback. Maybe. I mean, Howell's looked fine. I don't think Howell's been bad. It'd be interesting to see them swap lives for a day. Let's see Purdy play with that Washington Commanders team, and let's see Howell play with the 49ers. I'm sure it might be a little bit closer than we think, but
I think the
maybe
thing
that's a hot take.
With how much they're passing, I mean, I think he's like a top 1 or 2 quarterback in passing attempts this year. That O-line sucks for the Commanders, so all they have to do is throw the ball, and I think that bodes well for Howell in fantasy. Now, it's not as great as it could be, but it's also not as bad as what some other quarterbacks in their passing value is. So
because of that, he's taking a ton of sacks as well. Like we've seen that, but I think Howell, honestly, like and this is me just as like just a football guy. Like this isn't a fantasy thing. Like if I'm the Commanders, I'm running it back with Howell next year. Like I'm letting him be the quarterback again next year. I don't think you bench him or get rid of him or move to a different direction. I think he's shown me enough that I want to stick around and see what he can do. I
don't think they're not going to have a high enough pick to get a May or a Caleb Williams. So they're probably going to be stuck. Like, do we take one of these, ancillary quarterbacks in the first round,
or the Penix or the whatever?
The Bo Nix. Yeah. They're probably just going to say, screw it, draft the offensive line and run it back.
I would rather just stick with Howell. And he says the other way. He dropped Howell for Purdy. So I don't know.
You do you, Element.
Raul says it's not an extra entry. Just your videos and Discord help me a lot in fantasies. So I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Element says, I personally don't think Purdy is the player people make him sound like. That's a debate that I've had in my leagues before. I think he definitely has the benefit of being around such a good offense, a very good coaching staff, some things like that. But I don't think that Brock Purdy's a bad football player. I just think he gets a little bit of a bump and a benefit from playing with CMC, IU, Kittle, Debo, Kyle Shanahan. Like, obviously, it helps a lot.
Yeah.
Anthony says Herbert, Stroud, or Kyler.
I'll be going with Stroud.
I'm going with Stroud as well. Element says he's going Stroud for that too. So there you go. One more, Gibbs or Achane. Sounds like rich people problems.
It is a rich people problem. Some of these running back issues that you guys are dealing with, it's like, how many RB1s can one team have? Like, the rest of your league is like playing 0 RB as you're playing robust RB. So
right. I'm like, there's some of these questions they've asked me. They're like, Moss, Achan,
H-Chan,
Kyron,
ETN.
Kamara, ETN. Like, who should I play out of those guys? And I'm sitting here this week like, okay, do I play Chuba Hubbard or do I play like do I just throw Roshan Johnson in there? You know, like it's not. I know he's on bye, but it's like I'm dealing with that type of stuff. And they're
Yeah,
sitting here like I got 5 running back ones. Who should I play out of my running back ones this
it's
week?
crazy. I'm over here thinking like Tyler Algier seems like a decent flex play this week, and this is their
Yeah,
decisions, man. I need to get in more leagues like that because
yeah,
help my self esteem and my like overall mental.
crazy. All right, guys, we got about 10 more minutes left in this live, so throw those final start sit questions in the chat. We'll try and wrap them all up in about 10 minutes. Let's see. Element, or he says, got to win this week to make playoffs. Appreciate any advice. So this is crunch time, guys. Like this is time to make playoffs. It's do or die right now. Element says he's clinched the playoffs behind first by 1 loss. Jose says it's 12-team PPR. Herbert or Stroud? I go Stroud. Griffin says Downs, Spears, Roshan, Gainwell. Now this is a running back question. Stash one. He's the Swift owner. He says.
That doesn't matter to me. I don't want to stash Gainwell. If I had to stash one out of these options, like Josh Downs, yeah, stash Josh Downs. So that's the clear. I don't even think that's a stash. Like I think he's a
I think
solid.
Josh Downs is the best player here, and he's going to have the most value immediately. I mean, the best stash is probably Spears because if anything happens to Henry, Spears could be an RB2 the rest of the way.
Yep. It's especially with that matchup. I like Roshan too as a stash, but yeah, I would rate it the same exact way. Down Spears, Roshan.
Yeah, and if you have I know you mentioned you're the Swift owner. You know Gainwell. I'm not even certain Gainwell would be the next guy up. Like I'm not even certain that would be what would happen. It's a possibility. There's probably a good chance that he would get in the rotation. I mean, it's a very good chance he would be in the rotation. But if Swift goes down, I don't know what the hell is going to happen.
No, and you know what happens is when Swift goes off the field, it's always in like the non-high leverage situation. So it's always between the 50 to 40-yard line. The moment they get in red zone, boom, Swift's back in there. Like, yeah, I'm not too excited about Kenny Gainwell at all.
Yeah. Why don't we discuss kickers?
That's a great question. I know this is the thing. One week, you guys all on a live stream told me we really want a defense video. So I made a defense video, and let me tell you how it did. It did like poop. So we are no longer doing defense videos, and I imagine the same thing will happen with kickers. So I think eventually we'll, at least I know I'm probably next year going to be opening up rankings so that you guys can see them. So then you'll be able to see my kicker rankings. But I don't really think at this point, like, you kind of play the matchups.
I'll tell you why, Caleb.
Are.
What everyone does with kickers and defenses, and even people who are like really into fantasy football and are like die-hard fantasy football heads, like this is what they do with defense and kickers. They wait till Saturday and they say, yep, that looks good enough. And they pick something off the waiver wire and just plug it in the lineup. Nobody actually cares about defense and kickers. And I have gone on rants about this before. In all of my leagues that I commish, we have actually banned defenses and kickers out of our leagues. We play no defense, no kickers, because all we care about is quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. We just want the guys who are out there catching the football, scoring the touchdowns. I don't care about defense. I don't care about kickers. It's irrelevant. Football would be better without them. No, I'm just kidding.
It's touchdown or bust each and every, red zone would be interesting. We wouldn't have to watch those dumb, like 50-yard field goal. I'm like, no, get back to the touchdown scoring plays. But
yeah.
Ellen, we appreciate you for asking the question, but
yeah. Peanut Butter says, I know deciding between Bijan, Gibbs, Pollard, and HN every week. Life is rough.
I'm sure it seems real rough over there, Peanut Butter. Seems real rough.
Just lend me one of them for one of my leagues. I need one. Element says he has no more questions.
He's out.
Anthony says, what do you guys think about these defenses this week? Now that we've just talked trash about defenses, what do we think about them? Chiefs, Jags, Bucks.
Yeah, so Bucks is the top defense for me out of those. Thinking versus Carolina. I know a lot of people, Anthony, are worried about the Bucks being beat up. They're a little bit got some injuries happening, but I don't care. It's Carolina. We've seen Bryce Young not be able to throw the ball at all. Tampa Bay's got some big boys on the defensive line. So I like that. And then if I had to choose, my next team would be Jacksonville versus Cincinnati, just because of Jake Browning and the quarterback. And then I would be going with the Chiefs. But I honestly, all of these are top 10 defenses for me. So I don't think it's that far of a range.
All of these are top 10 in my rankings as well. Chiefs is the highest in my rankings this week. Element says, I got Brandon Aubrey, surprising, based on your
Surprise,
profile
surprise,
picture.
surprise.
Because how much do these Cowboys sell at the red zone opportunity? Fair enough. Split Kiwi says, good morning, full PPR. Are you taking Najee or Brees? I'm going Brees.
I'm going Brees. Split Kuwait. Appreciate you being here.
Yeah. Element says, I got Dallas defense pretty high up and it's worked well besides this week.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
for whatever reason, decided to let Geno Smith look like freaking Pat Mahomes.
yeah, no kidding. You know what
After
though?
I talked all that trash about Geno the last time you and I were on stream.
You know what? I had in one league, I had Geno Smith. I had to start him in a dynasty league because Josh Allen was on bye. And I was just like, Geno, the one start he's gonna get all year. Like my
Yeah.
man.
And then he's gonna be trash the rest of the way.
That's why you never started him. Yeah.
Yeah. Dual Guitar says, good. I hate kickers in defense. Just add more flexes instead. And that's what we do, man. We added a super flex and an extra flex, and we just got rid of the kickers in defense. CJ says, Nico or Puka, standard scoring.
I'm going Nico.
Yes, I'm going Nico. Jose says 12-team PPR, start 2. Chase, Waddle, Pittman. I'm going Pittman and Waddle.
Oh. I think I'm a little bit different than you here. But I'm going Pittman and Chase.
Okay.
But Waddle versus Washington, that's hard for me to pass up. That's a juicy matchup. This is a hard one, Jose. I'm not gonna lie. This is maybe one of the hardest ones we have had today.
I have Pittman and Waddle both as top 6 wide receivers this week. Pittman's a top 4 wide receiver for me this week.
You know what, Jose? Don't listen to me. I know you're here on my channel, but go listen. We'll listen to Andrew here. We'll go with Waddle and Pittman. I'm Andrew's convinced me here.
All right. Element says, I like Chiefs defense, very balanced playbook and good players. Agreed.
Yep.
Chang says starting wide receivers are Keenan Allen, Michael Pittman, Chris Olave. Running backs are Kamara, Gibbs. Tight ends Laporta, bench Mostert, Garrett Wilson, Chase, Barkley, Kincaid. Would you change anything on this roster?
Yeah, I would change put in Jamar Chase for Olave. That'd be what I'd change.
I'm good if you do that. Because I have them both pretty close, but it's up to you. I don't mind it the way it is right now. But you have Olave and Kamara. If you want to have some additional upside, maybe not be too tied into the offense, you could make the swap. I could hear it. Says we still clutch up a win. So yeah, Dallas got the win. Griffin says, how did I lose first place to Dobbs' final pass last week and go on to face Metcalf Charbs best game of the season? Hey, fantasy football, bad luck. That's just what it is sometimes.
Bad luck. And DK Metcalf, he hasn't done anything. Hasn't been a top 20 wide receiver all season. Then my man goes out and just absolutely becomes prime Calvin Johnson in Thursday Night Football.
Balls out. All right, man. Skibbity says Garrett Wilson or Olave. I'm going with Wilson.
I'm going with Wilson too.
Hill or Fryermuth. I go with Muth.
Yeah, give me Pat Fryermuth.
Chang says, thanks, guys. And then this is the last one here. Split Kiwi says, appreciate the help, gentlemen, but full PPR. I currently have Conklin at tight end. Would y'all switch him out with Brevin Jordan or Everett? I would play Brevin Jordan.
Brevin Jordan. I think Brevin Jordan's a really great start this week, especially with no Dalton Schultz. Brevin Jordan, and for people that don't know, like hyped up dynasty stash that a lot of us have been hoping for. What was he, a 3rd or 5th round pick out of Miami?
I can't remember.
I think it was 5th.
Brevin Jordan, a Las Vegas kid, grew up with Brevin Jordan, actually. Funny stat. I went to middle school with Brevin, and then at high school he went across town to Bishop Gorman. But Brevin Jordan actually grew up with that dude, played basketball with that dude growing up. So
was he good at basketball?
No. Actually, you want to know a funny thing? And I say this respectfully. Funny thing is Brevin Jordan was not the Brevin Jordan that he is now back in middle school. He was not as athletic, let's just say.
Wow. So what did you play against him with? And just basketball, or was there anything else?
Basketball and we in PE and stuff, like he'd play flag football and things like that. But Brevin was not like Brevin now. When he got to high school, like Brevin shot up. He became like 6'5" or 6'4" or something like that. Like big buff, like in high school, which he was not this big buff kid in middle school. Yeah, Brevin, he's really, really athletic. But aside from my Vegas love, I always show Vegas love to all of my Vegas athletes. Just being from the area, I always support these Vegas kids. It's another it's another reason why I like Daniel Bellinger. Daniel Bellinger's
Mm.
from the area and stuff like that. But we'll always show love to the Vegas kids. But I would be playing Brevin Jordan this week. I picked him up. I was I was gonna play Adam Troutman. And then we got the Dalton Schultz news, and I was like, I gotta pick up Brevin.
Give me some Brevin.
Yeah, so I'm playing him. Digging the live Sunday morning. Keep it going, guys. And we are kind of out of time here, so I apologize if we didn't get to your questions. There are a couple here. Just speed run.
We'll just speed run this. Yeah, because I know some people just subscribe, so I want to get to their question real quick.
Okay,
Trinity, thanks, Stoll. Appreciate you.
All right,
Thanks,
Trinity says Swift versus San Francisco, Singletary or Connor.
Standard. Swift. Yeah, give me Swift. Trinity, appreciate you being here.
Let's see. Griffin says I'm starting Brevin Jordan this week with Stroud. Good start. Plug and play. Let's see. Bucks or Browns D?
I have Bucks D higher, but Browns D has been an absolute monster this season. But give me Bucks D.
Yeah, Bucks D. And then he said, who should I drop? Browns or Texans D next week? Texans play the Jets and Browns play Jacksonville.
I would probably. I want to hold on to the Browns D, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. Start one. Gibbs, Hall, Mostert, Achane. I'm starting Gibbs.
Gibbs. Give me Gibbs, Jew. Appreciate you being here.
And then Kiwi says, enjoy the games. And that's what you guys need to do as well. Go enjoy those games. We appreciate you guys being here in the mornings. If there are any more start-sit questions that you guys have, obviously you can always enter the Discord that I have. Join that Discord. That gives you direct access to me. Or as Caleb always says, you can tweet at us. Our Twitters are on the screen, so you guys can find those. Or just go to one of our videos from the week. Comment in that comment section. We'll always try and get those answered.
And just as a final announcement, Andrew is doing that giveaway for the Mike Vick jersey if you guys have just joined. So we have a link up in the chat for his Discord. All you got to do is join his Discord. You then also have the ability to go in and click into the giveaway. He's giving that away tonight before the Sunday night game. He'll run that, and then you'll see who ends up winning it. So it's a legit authenticated Mike Vick signed jersey from Pristine Auction. So go check that out because Andrew does really cool giveaways, unlike me. So I need to get on that same type of wavelength here eventually.
Yep. So that's it, guys. But until then, I guess we'll see you guys next week at some point, probably, right, Caleb?
Yeah, well, we'll easily stream next week. So
yeah. All right, man. Well, we'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good one. Good luck this week. And hopefully you guys make some playoffs or at least make a push. But until next time, peace out.
Peace.